in midair, and Brisson digging for it, and he finds a man. It's Colangelo, has a lane. Draw pass, Brisson off the post and in. Brendan Brisson makes it 1-0 Chicago off a laser. And another goal against the Gamblers, number 20 for number 19, 1-0 steal. Well, great play, Colangelo off the takeaway. And it's similar to Jack Babbage's goal last night on the trailer.
Diesel, you've been lights out this year on both ends of the puck, but how good did it feel to finally get one tonight?
Feels great. Obviously, after like a long off season, it sucks coming in the year with a couple games without a goal, but to finally get it, it's just monkey off the back, a lot of weight off the shoulders.
Not only just the first goal, but how pretty of a pass was on Jack Babbage to you on that second one?
Yeah, sick play by Babs. New Quinnipiac commitment, and that's why, like, you see the plays he makes, he's such an elite player, and that pass just proves it right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Joe, also known as JC Productions on YouTube. Today, an amazing and wonderfully talented guest. What is your name, sir?
My name's Mark Citron. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing your work, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, man. Seriously, appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. I got a couple questions for you, Mr. Citron, if you don't mind.
Shoot.
Okay. So, what are you doing during these times of quarantine?
So Joe, I'm very routine. I get up real early. I work out, I'd say at least 5 days a week. I mean, I do some sort of exercise every day. I cook. That's a big hobby for me, cooking. I've learned so much from my mom, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm really grateful that she's helped me in the kitchen, and I could get some help and learn from. She's the goat in the kitchen. So, but sometimes I like to clean. I mean, so I let my place on purpose get dirty, and then I clean it real hard. I mean, I'm very tenacious. I've just had this extra energy since hockey sort of started. But what do you do, Joe? Like, what do you like to do?
I like to make these podcasts. I've been doing those, and then
Man. Like, let's get you. Yeah, that's great. You know, I was doing one this summer, and I just applaud you because I think that part for me is really hard, and I can talk, but it's hard for me to talk about at least like prospects or something like that, like for an hour. So that's why I have somebody else help me because I can do it. It's just it's not my, like, I love hockey, but that's not my cup of tea, right? Like, I like tea, but am I going to drink it every day? No. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I'll pay attention to prospects, but I don't really give a rat's ass. You know what I mean? But no, I'll make sure I do a good job on it, and I prepare, and I take it seriously when it's push shove, man. But yes, dude, I'd rather be a guest. So thanks for having me on. I think it's the first time I've been maybe like first three, but on a show. But I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Okay. So, what made you want to become a broadcaster, and who was your biggest inspiration for broadcasting?
Well, it's a good thing we kind of had a rough trial because the story. So my frat bros, I used to do impressions. When I was pledging, actually, they would even ask me, "Hey, can you commentate this ride home?" And so I'd be like, all right, yeah. So right now we're on Kennedy Boulevard. I mean, one of the main arteries of the city of Tampa in terms of the road. One of the most also bizarre. I don't even think it's a highway, but it's like, dude, it's just a dangerous. It's just brutal. It's very industrial, but it's got some grit. It's got some character to it. It's got some train tracks. Shout out to Tampa, that city. But anyway, that's where I started my career. That's where I went to school, and so many good memories. But Steven Stamkos announcing for him at the bar, long story short, during a lockout, and he kind of was just like real into it, where he asked me, "Can you announce me, and can I record you?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, F yeah." And so I just did that. To do that. I mean, and my fraternity brothers told me too, like, dude, you gotta be an announcer. Like, my one friend Andy, I mean, I have my social media guy, my Braden Kowalski, shout out to BK, and Andy Bushnell. Those guys, Andy, every day, every time I saw him, he'd be like, if you don't become an announcer. I'm gonna effing kill you. Like and a brotherly way, but he wasn't joking. Like he's a big, moosey, husky guy, but like very strong football guy. Like he's like, I'm gonna kill you if you're not an NHL announcer. I mean, dude, you're just so good, and like support like that is just so important in life, man. To anyone, like whatever it is that they want to do or want to chase, no matter who you get it from, or it could be one person. Like it makes such a difference, because for me, I think a lot of people in my case, I think, had to push me or had to tell me like that this is something you got to do, and it's still, I'm going to be chasing it my entire life until my last breath, and that's just what I'm meant to do on this earth. And yeah, that was the night I announced for Steven Stamkos, though, was when I knew, and that was in 2012, that I had to pursue it.
Well, I think you're a very talented broadcaster, by the way.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. I can't wait to see your work, man. I have some time right now. I mean, I'm procrastinating a little on my prep. That's why we're doing this. I like taking breaks. So I can't wait to watch you, Joe. And I know Josh has said great things, and you know, you're a friend of Josh's, you're a friend of mine. So
Homies.
hell yeah. And you've done some good work, and that's the thing about this whole you've interviewed actors, you've interviewed athletes, like that's incentive. You know, people during this whole quarantine, they're all in the dumps, and that's fine. You got to recognize it, but you're doing something to better yourself, and that's the thing. One day when we're on the outside of this, they're going to ask, what did you do? What did you do to better yourself? What's your story? Literally, that's the question. And you got to just, it's a process, man. Like every day, sure, there's going to be days that stink. But like, okay, that's fine. To have a little humor, you know, just like, God, like people are just, they just need to, it's hard, man. Like people, I don't know, people are down, but I'm just like feeling so good right now. I don't know why. I'm feeling some type of way. So, I mean, I'm not going to let anyone ruin my vibe, and I'm going to try to give you the best energy. I'm going to try to give you the best hockey game, because that's all, I want the fans to just feel it. Like it's all for everybody. Like, feel the game. Like that's what it's about, right? Like feel it. I'm trying to give it to you. So that's just my goal.
Thank you, Mr. Citron. You're awesome.
No, you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Do you have a
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Like
that was horrible.
Do you have a favorite movie and TV show?
So movie, I actually divide them into categories. So I go classics,
Okay.
chick flicks, and so like I have, and then mine fucking movies. Excuse my language, but literally movies that are incredibly sophisticated, and like Inception. That movie, incredible. Like that, Wolf of Wall Street. That could be a classic. But again, you see the point. It's like, so for movies, and then favorite chick flick though. I'm a sucker for a happy ending, man. I love, like, not cheesy either. And you would say, oh, The Notebook. Listen, unfortunately, that kind of love is gone in this world, I think. And it's really sad. So I don't want to talk about that movie, but I just love chick flicks. I really do, like good ones. One off the top of my head is It's Complicated. Classic. Alec Baldwin, and I think Meryl Streep. I could be wrong on that, but that is a great movie. And what's his face from Cheaper by the Dozen? Who's the guy with the silver? He's a beauty. Oh gosh, man, it's like I should know this, you know, but no, it's like great flick. If you haven't seen it, like great flick. But yeah, I love. I mean, even if it's not a happy ending, I like dark. I like a good Kleenex movie. Not like Marley and Me. Like I'll watch that, but like I'm really sensitive to animals. I love animals, so it's fine. It's just like I'd rather watch a chick flick or a comedy. So Sopranos is my favorite. One of mine of all time in Californication. David Duchovny's a beauty. So is Ronco. And Entourage. Those shows are all in like the same division, I'd say. Class. I just grew up with them and love them. Ray Donovan too. Such a good show. What about you, dude?
See, I like a lot of 80s films, like Back to the Future, Breakfast Club, all that stuff.
Breakfast Club classic. See, that's a classic. You know, a lot of classics. More like, it's just such a good movie. You know, like I love a good flick, but I don't really watch much TV. I sometimes like I actually watched for the first time in like a month yesterday. I couldn't sleep, so I was watching. What was it? It's actually like I'm not into reality TV, but I've been exposed to it a lot. But this show, what's it called? It was it's on Netflix. It was an old MTV show called The One. Are You the One? Okay. So it's like, yeah, but it's actually unreal. Like, especially now in the pandemic, I actually I'm over that stuff or like that scene. It was just crazy though, in terms of like the way, excuse me, our society is, and with people and social. I like social stuff. I'm a big chatterbox, as you see, and I love to talk to people. So like that show really fascinated me because, you know, all I see, and I'm sure you see, is masks and stuff. But like, it's just these people trying to win $1 million. It's like 20 people, but they're all basically matched. Or okay, like so, like they have to match correctly, and they have 10 shots at it. It's like they basically in Hawaii for like 2 months, like just on holiday, just like it's like the dream. Like you can't beat that. Like you peak in your life, you're on that show. Honestly, no, it's like, but it was just insane because it's interesting because like love and then teamwork also collide. It's like love and that unity. Like I find it a fascinating show. Like that's just like something where it's like I don't watch TV, but like I binge that. So it's like, pick my spots, bro.
What's a good TV show is, have you seen The Goldbergs?
No.
Really good. Lots of 80s nostalgia because like it's based on like this kid's 80s person like life. It's really good.
I'll check it out. I'll write it down right now. For real.
Oh, good.
I love recommendations.
It's on Hulu. If that helps.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Yeah. But I got to write it down. Because, see, I'll forget. No, I'll forget.
All good. Okay. Now, who was the coolest person you've worked with? The coolest person.
Worked with.
Mm-hmm. Or talked, interviewed, whoever.
That's a great question. Coolest. Probably Josh's dad, I'd say. Shane Doan is the classiest human being, and his son, I haven't met his mother or his siblings, but I'm sure they're just tremendous people. But I cannot say enough good about, and you're friends of Josh Doan, but just the family and the way that they conduct themselves, and just, I just wish more people were
like them.
It's just the world needs more of that, and I just have a lot of, but he was obviously the classiest guy, and he's so elite, and Josh, and they just have something about them too that they just a joy of life, and I really like just get a kick out of Josh Diesel Doan, and yeah, Shane was really nice, obviously, but I'd say in working with, Brian Bickle was really good too. He was great actually. Looking back on that interview with the Wolves, I really didn't. I cut my teeth a lot, but like Shea Theodore, who's really good, but he was gone really quick, and I mean, I interviewed him like once, maybe, like, so he only played like 7 games. There's a bunch of guys though. I have like raw footage of me and Nick Suzuki. Like, yeah, he's gonna be gross. He's really good. He plays for Montreal, but he was like the Steel's age when I interviewed him, and and that's the thing though, like it's like one of the little things, like you just learn too. He's just shy kind of, but he also, like, I saw like the love in his eyes for the game, and he grew up watching Sidney Crosby, and I could relate to that growing up in Pittsburgh, and so it's just that one thing that you kind of like click, and it's like, okay, I announced for Sid before he was on the floor, he was dying. And Marc-Andre Fleury, because I did like a flurry save, but I don't know what I was talking about Sid. But watching Sid, yeah. But that's just interviews. I don't know though. I mean, working with somebody like it's still young in my career. I'd say challenging. My old coach Greg Moore helped me learn in my latter 20s to learn to be calmer. I need my calm right now actually because I'm fidgeting, but yeah, I mean it's really important, and so I'd say more. It's the people that challenge you that are like that's what makes you better, right? Like I think so. That's I'd say like Greg Moore in terms of like I don't like again Shane. Those guys are great and they're great interviewer, great people, but the people that challenge you too are great.
Mm-hmm. If you were a broadcaster or announcer, what would your career be? And what
Sales.
Sales
I still might be. I mean, I want it to be. I love sales. I love people. I love people. I'm not there to really. Hey, I'm there not for a fun time, but let's more than just the business. Okay, it's like, hey, I want to get to know you. What's up with you? Like, what's your story, right? Well, who is this person? I mean, because there's all types of people in the world, and I love that. I love people, and I have so much energy that they see that, and sometimes you have to compose that energy, but some people you got to read people. I read people well. I mean, just because of body language and just eye contact and just like it's hey, what do you want? In and out. Sometimes you even the people that actually it's funny because the people that BS with you in sales, they're the ones that usually don't buy because they're looking for somebody to talk to because they want to get their day going. It's like so they're the ones that are a pain. And they're the ones that are ultimately the toughest because they're the ones too that are probably like, oh, well, this guy sold it for $2 more, so we went with them. It's like, but yeah, I was horsing around with you for 45 minutes. It's like you learn that type of stuff, you know. It's just about people, and I love that. So sales, 100%, and I wouldn't even rule that out either. I think like I want to do that event. Like I have a lot of tenacity. I think if I want to help out one day, we'll see. I mean, I might get into it as a summer thing or a seasonal job for a lucky company or something. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'd love to promote something. I'd love to do my dad's company, Tamco Tools Inc. Every man needs a good tool. I sent some of my boys some masks at the University of Michigan. They love them. They love the shirts. The boys love the shirts. So that's free advertisement there. But it's great product as well too. I mean, but besides that, you know, I'd want my career in terms of that. Yeah, I'd love to promote for companies eventually and long term more. But yeah, I love sales, man. Let's go. Let's effing like, hey, especially now in the pandemic. I mean, I'm a caged animal in here, man. I get cabin fever, but you know, I work out, dude. I cook. I do things to distract my mind.
Nice. Do you have any hobbies? Like
yeah, I'd say cooking. I mean, working out, being fit, eating well, cleaning. It's very therapeutic. I mean, just nature. And if I can't do nature, then it's certain projects I get fixated on or things. But yeah, I mean, I also like to, hang out. I like to just not necessarily play the field, if you will, but no, I like to just meet new people. I like to be social. I like to get out, but now I'm laying low. I mean, I'm taking this seriously, and I'm thankful for every day. And yeah, I mean, it's great. But working out, like coffee, things like that, like routines are just real important to me.
Do you play video games?
I used to, man. This thing is just like I don't. I play NHL, but I do it for practice too. Like so, it's such a lie. I half-ass it. I practice on it, but sometimes I'm just competitive and I want to play. Like I did get 21. I've played only 5 games, so I've had it for a few weeks. But like, yeah, I've been busier, so I haven't really had time. But that's the only game. I don't play anything else. And it's like, yeah, I practice. I mean, it's just I mute the announcer. And I have the crowd and stuff, but it's just me. So it's actually even good practice because it's so fast It's actually faster than real life. It's actually like, but it's easier too because it has the names on it. So it's like it's more speed and it's actually good for my diaphragm work. But yeah, so I do that too. That's important actually. But I haven't done it really because I've had my games, so I haven't needed it. But I had a boot camp going before we got started, at least for myself. And I was out of breath. I was worried. I mean, I was out of breath, dude. After one period, I was like, holy cow, I'm rusty. No, but I was good.
What console do you have?
One piece of junk. I'm surprised it's actually lasted 7 years. I think I got it 6 years ago. So actually worth the investment, but boy, I really don't want a new one. So I might be over. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that stuff. I don't want a new one. I really don't. You know the world we live in, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you have a favorite band or artist and type of music?
Nah. So I'm very, very moody with music. It's so important, but it's very emotional for me. I like calm. I like pop. I like pop 2K. So if I'm in my car, I either have NHL channel on, which is really boring. I haven't listened to it now because of this stuff. But I'll listen to my games separately, but I can't do it in the car. And then, okay, so Pop 2K, I have YouTube. I like YouTube. Bruno Mars, Adam Levine are my favorite artists. And I don't really follow music. I get recommendations from my friends. I get trap. I get some Young Scooter. I get some Young Dolph. I like that. I love country. Like I'm all over the place. I'm even getting back into old progressive house, just like some of the boys love it, and it's like it geeks me up too. But I also like to be calm. Like I like spa music. I have spa channel in my car, but that's a tough one. Like you got to be very calm, and it's like I can't go more than 10 minutes with spa specifically. But I like jazz. I enjoy jazz. So yeah.
See, I like 80s, like Euro rock and all that. That's what
I respect it, but I don't. It's not my go-to. No.
There you go. Okay. Do you have like the 4 major sports, or do you have a favorite top 2 sports?
Hockey only. All right, like let's be real here, and it's just that's a bias, but just my personal bullish opinion, and I love the game, and I respect all the other sports. I appreciate sports just because they, and I'm not going to get on some woman. I'm just saying, it's like, why do guys like sports so much? It's more, okay, there's just a lot of sides here, but sports escape you. They're supposed to escape you from reality. They're supposed to bring people together. They're supposed to also, as an individual growing up, you learn so much as a team and competing and getting better and the ups and downs of a season and going through adversity, even at a young age, though. It is a life skill like that. There's so many advantages to it that I just respect sports, but in terms of personal engagement, I also find March Madness, though, fascinating in the sense of the upsets and the storylines, and I think that stuff is so fun. Like, but I love hockey. Like, I don't watch basketball unless it's like that, but I don't golf either, but I know a lot of my friends love it, and I do. I mean, I hit some irons occasionally, some irons, as they say in Pittsburgh, but no, I'm not any good, and so I just kind of watch hockey and try to take notes and just learn as much as I can from these goofballs that are in the National League and in the league like this. I like Jason Shaver too. He's a great guy at the Chicago Wolves. Shout out to Jason for helping me in my first year with the Wolves, and he's great. I love listening to Billy too on color. Billy Gardner, great color guy. He's probably one of my favorite color guys of all time. Billy, I'll give it to you right now. You're my number one, baby. You and Bob Airy are a bunch of beauties, but yeah, I love Billy's Wolves. I love the Wolves, Chicago Wolves broadcast crew, and I'm not even being biased. I just love. I think they do a great job, and Yeah, man.
Do you have a favorite team? Like your top three,
Like,
your top favorite teams?
So I grew up diehard Penguins fan, and it's actually embarrassing. Like I was a baby. I mean, it was like it was a make or break. Like it would make or break my day, and most of the time, obviously, it made my day because the teams were incredibly good and talented, and actually, in a sense, they talk about adversity. I mean, I saw a lot with those growing up with Marc-Andre Fleury, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Jordan Stahl, like even veterans like Gary Roberts and
Yeah.
excuse me, like just but like I was a Penguins fan that went through the tough times. That I remember the year that they actually went on an 18-game winless streak, and it was like, so that's like months. Like they didn't win a game for so long, and I remember, it's funny. Maybe Shane might know this game. I remember the night that they snapped the streak because it was against the Phoenix Coyotes, and they won in overtime 4-3, and it was like the biggest. It was probably the healthiest win, like in terms of savor, I've ever felt as a fan. And then once I started to get my pro career going, like yeah, that quickly changed to a business, and it's just different. Learning it, and I'm still learning, and I'm always going to be learning. But yeah, the Lightning, I really fell in love with towards the end of my tenure living in Tampa Bay. So, yeah.
Believe
Now
it
what's that?
Oh, believe it or not, one of my favorite players used to play with the Penguins of all time.
Porter?
Mm-mm.
He's been on the broadcast, right?
Yeah, he's been on the podcast, but he's not my favorite. Do you want me to be my favorite?
Who?
You know, remember Marcus Naslund? He used to play with the
Yeah.
Penguins for like a bit in the beginning, and then
Oh, of course. That was one of the worst trades ever. He's so good. Yeah.
Marcus. Okay. Now, what is your favorite food, and why is it your favorite?
Joe, really good question. It's so hard, dude. Well, like, see, I have a bunch of. Okay, I have two sides. Like, I have like what I make, but like that's boring. So my favorite. I mean, I love fettuccine bolognese. I love Taco Bell, even though it's garbage. I love it. I love picking out a T-Bell. I did last night, actually. I do a few times a year. I love Shake Shack. I love In-N-Out, like that stuff. I love Chinese food. I love dumplings. Gosh, I'm actually disappointed, actually. The only thing in Illinois, Chicago has some of the best food in the world. But I'm actually a little disappointed. In the Chinese, I got to say. If anyone knows any good places, because my place, Red Dragon in Elmhurst, was dope. And I don't live there anymore, but like, still, I'm looking for a real good place, all right? I haven't found one. There's a place in Pittsburgh I love. It's called Jimmy Wan's. Shout out to Jimmy Wan. I love that place. Like, just the best chicken broccoli ever. But like, I love Chinese. Like, but I don't eat it really here. I love sushi, so I'll eat sushi occasionally. I cook salmon, a really good salmon. Yeah, man, I love mashed potatoes. Is my favorite Thanksgiving side. That's a real good date question, by the way, for all you gents out there. It's like, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side? Mine's mashed potatoes. Like, I am in love with mashed potatoes. I could eat them with anything, really.
Nice. Do you like, since you mentioned Chinese food, do you like Panda Express, or have you had it before?
Sure, yeah, it's right down the road. I actually walked out though on them because they took so long on my order, but they have really good string bean chicken. I'm actually starving, dude. So
Sorry.
eventually, by 5 o'clock, we're gonna have to cut this because by 5 it's like dinner time. Because my bedtime's at 8 o'clock. So no, I've been out recently like 7 p.m. Not last night, but dude, I fell asleep at like 7:30 p.m. Yes, 2 nights last week. And I woke up at 4 a.m. I mean, that's how off my schedule's been, but it's fine. I have a ton of energy, and as I said, I have a whole morning routine. It's the most peaceful time of day, man. Is from like 5 a.m. I love 4:30 or 5, like until 7 a.m. because it's just so quiet and peaceful
Okay.
outside, and I like to go and watch the stars. Then it's really peaceful, honestly.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give people who want to go in the broadcasting and announcing side? What's your advice?
Gotta hustle and just connect. It's all connections, and you gotta just make sure you follow through on things. Like I have to. It's hard. I mean, I have to you're never gonna stop selling yourself no matter what you want to do in your life. So it's just career advice to everybody, and it's hard. I mean, it's one of my least favorite. As much as I love people, like it's hard to follow up and to keep a whole base. But like you gotta bless you, Joe.
Sorry.
Bless you, Dee. Yeah, you're a beauty. No, but it is, and that's just like you have to though. So selling yourself and just keeping yourself like it is just luck, and like I hate when people told me that, but it is. It's just life though. Things fall into place, but you gotta create those breaks. It's like when you're in a drought and you're a player and you can't score. I mean, you're gonna do the things that you do, but you gotta keep being consistent. Like you gotta want it. Like you gotta keep yourself relevant. And like I have to now at the next level, right? Like the Steel told me when they hired me, you're not gonna be with us forever. We know that. And so it's like it's hard, it's still hard. Like they said, oh, it's fine once you get your first job. That's a bunch of baloney, man. Like especially with this stuff now, but it's opportunity too. And so the support of my family, but yeah, it's just get yourself. You know what? My dad told me, and I love this. It's a boomer quote, but I love it. It's don't crap around on email. Pick up the phone and make a phone call, okay? All these people these days, it's like, okay, now I get it with the in-person stuff. Just hustle out. Like, make a phone call. You can write an email, but like, do a phone call too. And then send an email. Do both. Don't just sit there and diddle-daddle on your TikTok and all this crap. It pisses me off, honestly. And it's like, all right, I'm going to do something different, So that's my speech on that.
Thank you. That's good advice, and thank you for the blush.
Heart on the sleeve always, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, is there anything you'd like to promote and shout out? I can link down below.
I mean, my Twitter, I guess. I hate Twitter, but nah. My new broadcast page on Instagram, Mark Citron Broadcasting, MarkCitron. Check it out. Mark Citron _broadcasting. Joe, follow me. I want to follow you. Thanks for having me on. I love all the boys. I love everybody. Everybody be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. And if that's my closing words, Joe, thanks so much for having me on, man. I mean, hey, maybe I'll bring a guest next time.
But okay.
The Jaguar, or I also, we can get Jag, maybe Owen Power, the big dog, or Kent the Eagle Johnson, because they're all roommates, so maybe they can just join in for a little. And I talked to them a lot, or I talked to like Owen and the Jag a lot, and then Eagle's usually in the background just doing his Eagle. He plays a lot of video games, Kent. I don't know. He plays a lot of NHL. He rips a lot of NHL, but I mean, hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Well, I thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again, Mr. Citron, again, for being an awesome guest. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Peace.
No problem. Peace. Have a good day, everybody, and stay awesome. And stay awesome, Mr. Citron.
Stay awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome. I love you, man.
Thank you.